In the Iowa caucuses back in January, Donald Trump lost and Hillary Clinton won, albeit by just a hair. Today, the good people of the Hawkeye State are in effect headed to the polling place again. It is the beginning of early voting in Iowa, and they take it seriously there. In 2012, 43% of the ballots were cast before Election Day. Today, Hillary Clinton spoke at an Iowa Democratic Party early vote event in Des Moines, making a pitch directly to those early voters.
We've got a bunch of active Iowans here. Are you ready to go to the polls? Well, luckily in Iowa, you can start today. Lots of folks don't have that opportunity across the country. We have, 40 days, 39 days left, and each and every one of you have the chance to make sure that we keep our country on the right path. We have 40 days to win an election that's going to affect the next 40 years of our country. And you, every one of you, can make the difference.
So it's not just Hillary Clinton. Tomorrow, Tim Kaine's wife, Ann Holton, will be in Iowa to continue the push, and Chelsea Clinton will be in Wisconsin to encourage early voting there. Next week, Bill Clinton will take a bus tour across Iowa, or Ohio, I should say, a week before that state's early voting process begins. Donald Trump, for his part, visited Iowa yesterday for a rally. Those are just a few of the battleground states where early voting has either already started or will soon start. So, Mark, when it comes to this rather important and often overlooked subject, that is early voting, which side has the edge?
Well, I think it's not knowable. There's always a lot of bluster, and it's difficult for the press to get at what's going on in terms of the operations. I'll tell you two things that each side has going for them. On the Democratic side, they got more surrogates who can draw big crowds. They have a more sophisticated sense of the mechanics of how a campaign can influence early voting. Second, in the wake of the debate, the media coverage is slanted towards Clinton. So there's just more optimism, enthusiasm on the Clinton side. Today, let's wait for the next round of polls. Maybe that'll switch, but that's an advantage for her. On the Trump side, there's no doubt, you and I have both seen, the Republican National Committee is doing more than any national party has ever done, probably, to try to carry the ball on things like early voting. Is that the same as being tethered to a candidate? No, but it's strong. But it is strong. And in some states, Republicans have more of a tradition of voting early because it takes a little bit more involvement to turn out and do that.
I don't disagree with anything you just said, except for I think when you said the coverage is slanted toward Clinton, you mean that she's had more positive coverage.
More positive coverage, slanted in her favor.
You know, this is just a ground game thing. You know, in 2012, early voting dramatically favored Democrats. The Obama campaign had an incredible ground game. They were taking people, literally physically identifying the voters and carrying them to the polls and putting them in front of a polling machine, or getting them to send in their vote. This time, it seems like I actually think the field operations are surprisingly equally matched. The Clinton campaign obviously has a much more traditional structure. They have a lot more offices. The RNC is doing a lot, and I think they have focused a lot on registration and early voting. And we won't know until after Election Day whether they match the Clinton campaign, but they're closer than people think.
Yep.
I think.
I agree with that.